Good evening, friends. Give me a second. La 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 la. Good day, everybody. Give me a moment here. I'm just gonna get ready here. Open up necessary stuff. Close unnecessary stuff. Give me just a moment. Think very quickly. Default, I guess. Appearance, nah. Is it this one? The icon, command line appearance, nah. The hell, where is it? Default, appearance, advanced. Oh, I'm not doing a new terminal, for sure not. I just need to change this background. Maybe it's here. Actually, I made a video on this, but I actually forgot about where things are. Let me find the defaults. Starting directory, icon, appearance. It's no Windows PowerShell Ubuntu. It has to be this one then. Yeah. All right, cool. And I'm just gonna change this. I got a little bit bored of that background, to be very honest with you. So let's try something like this instead. Sure. Let's try something else before we start coding. Just try a few things. I just suddenly got bored of it, and I need to try something else. Nah. Give me a second. What about this? This doesn't look too bad, right? No, I don't like that. No. Yeah, I don't know. Give me a second. Maybe some of the old stuff I had. The pixel art stuff, maybe. What about that? Nah. Not really, right? Yeah, let's maybe try this. Yeah, let's keep it like that. That sounds good. close all, I guess. All right, cool. That I like. All right, cool. Yeah. And actually, let's do it here as well. Let's just do it here as well, and then we start hacking away. Pasteboard. Is this the one that I usually use to upload images? Yeah, it is. Wallpapers. 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 Go to image. Go to image, and let's. Yeah, I guess this, right? To image. And I suppose I put it here, right? Yeah. Oops. Sheet. Background image. Yeah, so it's this one, right? Let's just do that. You look angry today. How come, Ali? Why? Oh, yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm tired. All right, cool. Great. Let me see how is it on the screen. I think it's fine, right? Okay, yeah. So let's open up this bad boy here. All right, so this is our this is the front end, right? So let's see what we've actually done, right? So if we go over here, we're gonna keep the work. I've done some work last night as well. So actually, as I started the stream, this is too much, right? Let's reduce this a little bit. The opacity is like it's hard to read. Install and reload. Let's kind of change it a bit, right? I think that's a little bit better. And then what do we have here? Let's reload this as well, right? Yeah, okay. So basically, yeah, so where we stopped, I stopped last night. I did more work last night with this. Let me just do one thing here. I also did some API work last night and pushed that to production. Okay, whatever, yeah. All right, so yeah, today we're gonna do more work on this, and we're gonna keep doing work on this until we're done. So yeah, let's do some. Let's start a little bit light, right? So let's go to, and then we're gonna go here again. So I'm gonna just try, not there actually. Where was it? Here, right? So I'm gonna just try another thing here. So I'm gonna say, let's say apply text indigo, text primary maybe. Let's see if that's gonna work. Okay, it does work, right? Okay, so let's do some basics here, and then we're gonna move to moving more components and see if there's people for some discussions later, maybe. Anchor core, SB docs preview. It would be super nice if there was actually a way to style this thing, because it's a little bit annoying me, right? It's so ugly. Like, look at this table as well. It's not really pretty when the documentation opens. This kind of almost blinks in your face, right? This thing. I don't like that at all, right? Let's try to do something about it, right? So let's say here also, right? Yeah, I don't actually know. And then text white maybe. But it does want to apply the text. That's a little bit weird, right? Let's try color red important, just to give it a shot. Yeah, it doesn't like that, right? Okay, let's keep on trying. So yeah, not really awesome, but let's try here. let's say BG. Let me just try a few things. So all right, let's try. Shit, yeah, that kind of sucks as well, right? But those are kind of irrelevant and minor details, right? But I really want to get them because yeah, it's just annoying. It kind of looks like shit. Wait, is there somebody who's done this already? How to style SB docs? Let's try to ask our, how do I style when I inspect the storybook docs? It seems that they are using style components or similar. Oh, actually, maybe I should put that camera a little bit up. Yeah, but that's useless, right? That's not the correct answer because yeah, yeah. But let's try, right? Whatever. Let's try this. So what do we want to actually style? So we have table rows. Can we do that? Can I say TR and I say background color red just to test it? Yeah, so that doesn't work. What about TD? Yeah, so that works. Okay. So let's say here then apply BG primary. All right. Can I also say text white, or to say actually text primary text color? Yeah, so that kind of works, right? What about those? What is this stuff? What are those like? Yeah, so this is the problem. Like, how the hell do we style those right now? How do we target those? It's unclear. So that's so freaking annoying, man. Like, seriously, how can you release something like that, right, without providing some way to style it, right? Jesus Christ, man. Is this like... Thank you very much for the follows. Let's just research here. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work, no. I also don't think that's the one that we're dealing with here, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter actually, but it's yeah, it's freaking yeah. Just come on, man, seriously. I wonder maybe it's getting affected by those globals here. Do we have some TypeScript help here? Yeah, let's try here, maybe. Color primary, let's say color. Let's try those settings, right? So let's just reset this to default and let's try here. So color primary, let's say, let's go Tailwind color palette. Or no, let's just go to our Tailwind config here, right? And then, or let's go to style. And then let's say that this is the primary. Right, color primary, what else? Text mutated color, text color, input text color, font, grid, cell size. Okay, let's see what this did, if anything. So let's rerun this because we changed the config. Yeah, I don't see that it did anything, right? Worst case, we can leave it like this, but it doesn't seem to be affected by those global settings, right? Input background, font, grid cell size. Docs mode, what is this? Expand. Default name, autodocs tag, framework, add-ons. Yeah. Theme, toolbar, sidebar. Yeah. I mean, worst case, we can leave it like this, right? It's just, yeah, it kind of sucks ass, right? I don't actually know how we can style the docs, right? And those are the official docs, I believe, right? Most likely, yeah. Text color. Yeah, so this is, I guess, the text color, and there's color primary. What else is there? Bar text color. Bar. Bar, so what is the bar? Bar background. All right, let's see this way what a bar is, right? I suppose if we smack this like this, then we should be able to see that, right? All right, let's this. Bar color. What the hell is a bar? Okay, so this thing here on top is a bar, right? I mean, if you're referring to me, Dracnet, I'm using all operating systems, right? I'm not a my work laptop is a is a Mac, right? So yeah, it's not that it's just, as I always say, it's just an operating system. It doesn't really matter, right? I don't think that really matters at all, right? Okay, I see. And then here we can say bar text color. Yeah. And then we want to say this bad boy, right? Yeah, so pretty much, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so well, that kind of goes along our style a little bit better. And then we have the active thing, I guess. Can we change that? Bar selected color, I suppose. Yeah, as well, right? Zayotic, my friend, good evening. Okay, great. So okay, yeah, super, that's good. And so I get it. Oh, okay, so we're gonna set them all. Okay, sure. Okay, so let's go to Tailwind color palette. Then we're gonna go to indigo, right? And we're gonna use maybe, I don't know, 700 for selected and for this one, right? I just want to make sure that we do this right. So in a couple of days when we're done with this library and we start using it, I want to make sure it's awesome. So that's good. I like that. As you can see now, when I hover, it's a little bit better. And yeah, there's still this color. I don't know what this actually is. So I would like to change that as well. Panel something, yeah. I suppose Boolean, BG Boolean, input border radius, text inverse color, Boolean background up border radius 0. I don't want any border radius there. I'm gonna nuke that. Screw border radiuses, I'm not a fan. Yeah, so the only color pretty much left is this one. I wonder what is that though. Fonts, code, input background, input border, input text color, text inverse color, Boolean, color secondary. Okay, color secondary. Yeah, okay, I see. So let's try to put it the same as primary, right? And see if that actually... Jack, my friend. Jack writing on YouTube. Good evening, buddy. How is life? Yes, great. Okay, so that was the secondary color. That was the secondary color. And we actually don't need a secondary color. I want to keep this as simple as... I want to keep this in a style of programmer network. So we can also change this logo a bit, right? Because again, I need it to be also reflective of our brand, if I may, right? So yeah, so the only thing maybe that we could kind of do, right, is we have this text color, right? Which is... a little bit dark, so let's just maybe change this to this. How is life, Jack? How are you doing, man? Let's refresh this. Okay, so maybe, yeah, that's slightly better, right? I agree with myself, right? Super. And before we continue moving the components, I'm gonna change this logo a bit. I'm starting to wonder, should we even call it Louis GUI now, as I'm slowly processing this in my head. So let's go to, what is it called? Photopea, the Photoshop we use, the free one online, right? And yeah, let's do a different logo a bit. Is this important? Absolutely not. But that's what I feel like doing now, and that's why I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, right? So that's not actually what I wanted, but whatever, right? What I actually wanted was to go over here and open this image instead. Tobbs, my friend, good evening. Louis GUI. What is the size of this image? Image size 200 by 75. Okay, so let's create something like that. Let's say pixel density, what was it, 100 by, let's say 80. And Louis GUI. Hi from Ukraine. Mikhail, good evening, buddy. How are things? Life is great, man. I have filed for new passport this week, and I'll be traveling back to Norway in March to renew my. Nice, man. Great. If you're around Copenhagen, dude, hit me up for a beer, dude. If you're by any chance in Copenhagen, don't you dare to forget to hit me up, all right? And any of you, the rest of you, of course, if anybody is ever around this amazing city, make sure to ping me, right? What did I want to do? Oh yeah, so let's get back over here. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, man, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Okay, let's go here. Let's do this. Let's trim it. Let's enter. Actually, I don't even want this font, right? Let's go with something else. How did I end up using this? I have no idea. Let's go Roboto, which is our official font, I think. Shit, why is this so pixelated? That looks really bad, right? Yeah, that looks pretty bad, right? Sure, that's what it is. Let's change it to something else. Bold, maybe. Yeah, that's super simple. Let me just zoom in a bit. I would like to find some font with this G being a little bit different. Or maybe actually I have an idea. Wait a minute. So let's try Pixel, right? Or what was it? Shit. How is it called? Not Pixel. That's pretty terrible. Okay, screw it. Let's just find something quickly then. We were with this before, right? Yeah. Nah. Retro, maybe. Retro. Yeah, that's not terrible. It's different for sure, right? So we can... Different is not bad. Different is good, I guess, right? Let's increase that font a bit, and then that should be good, right? Let's try that. Whatever. Yes. Is it hard to read? Absolutely. But again, let's give it a shot. Let's trim that again. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna try that. Export as PNG. Let's save that. Let's get over here. And actually we need to upload that. So let's say upload image. Let's do do this, select desktop. Where did I actually download that though? Come on, man. Okay, here. All right. Yeah, go to image, I suppose. Yes. Open image in a new tab. Yep. And then if we go to this fella over here, I guess, storybook, main, preview, right? Manager, main, preview, I suppose, right? Or theme, maybe. Yeah, it's theme, right? Let's give it a shot like this. Let's see if it's too disgusting or not. What to use in the backend? I use Fastify. This bad boy here. Fastify and actually, yeah, we use Postgres, Redis, and a couple of more things. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is not looking good, but it's okay, right? Let's leave it for now. It's better than that green crap, right? I just need to sleep over a few of those things, yeah. But is this great? No, not really. Maybe it would be greater if it was centered. I wonder though if I could wait. Give me a second here. So yeah, so sidebar header. Like, let me try one thing. I mean, what can we lose, right? Again, probably super irrelevant stuff, but that's what it is, man. I just need to give it a shot. So what if I say here, apply flex, call, item center, justify center. What's gonna happen? Well, nothing's gonna happen as far as I can see there. Let me just try one thing, just to see if I'm applying actually anything at all with this class, because I don't see that I am. Oh, my bad, sorry. I don't actually see that I'm applying anything there. Let's try refreshing. Background color, let's say padding 20. Yeah, it's like, was this a class or was it an ID though? It is a class, sidebar header, right? So that's good. Yeah, that's fine. All of that is fine, right? All right, let's try like restarting this thing. Maybe that's the problem. Nope. Yeah, I don't see actually though any of those changes being applied anywhere. That's a little bit awkward, isn't it? Let me just try something else. Nope. What the hell, man, is going on? Yeah, never mind. Okay, let me give up immediately. Yeah, this is not gonna work. Okay. All right. Well, that's it when it comes to that. So let's now. So yeah. So what is it? What is it next? What is it we want to do next? Well, we need to move more components, right? So let's continue with that. It's gonna be a front-end heavy stream today again. So let's actually see what it is that we want to move next from to the library itself. All right, so components, global navbar, notifications, protected route, SEO, slide-in panel, team builder. No, not really. So let's see, is there anything else that we have left that we need to move? Taught content, taught header. Yeah, those are... You have never heard of Fastify? Really? Are you writing Node.js? Are you in the Node.js community? Yeah, we can't move this to there, right? This is way coupled to... Yeah, I'm just answering questions in YouTube, yeah. Yeah, we can't move this. This is so specific to programmer network, right? So we will not do that. Tooltip we've moved already. Typography we moved already for the most part. Anchor, I don't think this anchor is this anchor currently used anywhere in Programmer Network project? No, it doesn't seem so, right? Okay, so, but it doesn't really matter. Code block is technically a component, right? But are we actually using this somewhere? So yeah, maybe we'll not do that now. Tags, yeah, tags we could move, right? Yeah, let's do that. So let's do some work. Like every day we need to do some work, right? So that's the whole point. So those time is of the essence, right? So, and it's very little time, so let's just tags. Okay, so yeah, tags. Yeah, we'll need to what the fuck? But yeah, let's freeze it like this. So yeah, let's I guess this is our tag component, right? All right, so actually let's rename this to tag, I suppose, right? We can leave this, we'll delete this. We will get rid of this and get rid of that. We're gonna export default tag, right? There's something wrong with the fucking formatter again, man. It's pissing me off. Why is that? Okay, I think we're good again. Let's rename this to index.tsx, right? And we're gonna do same here. We're gonna say tags.tsx, and we'll write some tests for this as well, just as the previous stuff. This is the tag data. So yeah, so we can't really couple this anymore to navlink. We're cleaning things up. So let's make this a div instead. And then, yeah, so we'll replace this basically on click, right? So on click, we'll say on click. And then we'll do functional component here. For whatever reason, I'm not sure why we're not getting IntelliSense immediately, but that's what it is. Let's say interface I tag props, right? Let's see if Copilot is going to give us a hand. It will. That's beautiful. Let's move this as always to types TS. Let me actually just share this repository. So this thing we're building now in the next couple of streams is I'm open sourcing my Programmer Network user interface. So we're going to be building this. Let's just maybe pin it so people can either start or follow the work of it. But a couple of days ago I started doing this work, so just in case you're wondering what the hell are we doing right now, that's what we're doing right now. Let's move this bad boy over here. Let's export it. Yes, beautiful. And then let's say here I tag props, right? Beautiful. So that's good. Yeah, this is wrong, right? Why is this like that, right? Yeah, but that's not what I want. Where's I cannot memorize this type. That's my problem. React mouse event. So this is synthetic event, right? This is what we need. Play one game, my friend. Good evening. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I don't know what happened here. I don't think that I put that thing in the right place. Types DS. What? Okay, now I actually did, all right? So going back to here, right? So this actually is the correct type, right? And I guess, yeah, we can make this optional for sure. Is the only thing that this thing has is a name, right? So yeah, maybe we can, instead of passing an object, maybe we can pass just a primitive value, right? Just the name itself, right? So here we can say name, and then we don't need to pass the whole object, right? And then we can go here and just say that instead of this. So just simplifying further down the components now. And then here we'll say, yeah, name is JavaScript, for example. Yeah, and yeah, as we did yesterday, let's tell what happened there. Oh, I see. Actually, before we move on, let's do one thing. Exactly, beautiful. This. And here we'll say, yeah, components tag, right? Okay, so if we go now to the tag here, so this is the tag. Let's center it, right? Layout centered. So let's say parameters as well. Here we'll just say centered, right? So now here's our tag, right? That's the component. That's the new component. And yeah. And yeah, what is next? Well, let's just generate tests for it. So we're gonna go to Gen code 1 debug and say generate tests. So this is, I'm using the same prompt until we actually finalize this and then start, then install it in Programmer Network frontend and then start removing the components from there and then using this. So we're gonna use this story until we are done with this whole process, right? I need to prime this a little bit better because it's too verbose, right? So I'll need to prime this LLM later. So you see, it's kind of doing too much of this crap. I just need to tell it to be more, yeah. But yeah. So I'm gonna generate those tests now for this one, and then we're gonna move to another component. I think this is a very, very simple component, right? So there isn't really much here to, even one story is sufficient. Maybe we can create another story with a class name and stuff. Does it matter? Probably not, right? Because it's, give me a second. Yeah, so basically here are the tests, right? So we can just grab them and come here and say tag dot test.tsx, right? We'll paste this bad boy here. Let's see what is failing. Okay, yeah, it just can't resolve the component due to bad import. Let's update it. So great, tests are good. We're gonna verify them in a second. This should be called tag.stories whatsoever, not tags. So let's make sure we fix that. Yeah, I'm all about fashion for sure. Everybody knows that. You guys know me by now, right? All right, beautiful. So yeah, so let's see the test. So first and foremost, let's move the snapshot test to the top. Renders tag with provided name, cool. Applies custom class name, cool. Handles click event, cool. So that's good. That's all that we really know that we need, right? Let's just rerun the storybook again. Beautiful. Okay, super. Yeah, so if we get back here, we should see that still. Only thing that I basically miss if I go to the stories right over here is maybe some click handler. So let's go to maybe spinner inputs button maybe. Yeah, let's go to the button stories. Let's import this. Nah. Where did I have that? Accordion maybe. Yeah, so I want this action thing. Close that. Button stories, tag stories, yeah. Yeah, so let's import this fella over here, and then here I'm just gonna say on click, right? Let's say action. I don't know why Copilot is not actually helping me with this. Come on, Copilot, you can do it. It's not about me not filling this. I just want to know why is this fella actually not filling this up. Wait, I want to see if there's like a... Okay, so now it is super. Okay, anyway, so now if we click it, we should actually see the actions in here. We need this to have it in all stories so people can actually see it. So as I click, also let's do one change. I actually don't like this, right? So let's make sure that if there is an on-click handler on it, that a pointer is shown, so to make it clickable, right? So you can see it's a tiny detail, but it's unclear. If you hover over it now, we have a normal cursor, right? If we actually zoom into this component, you can see it's a normal cursor. So let's say if there's an click, so we're gonna add conditional class here, right? So we're gonna say, hey, I can come here and I can say, no, not really, no. We can just say cursor pointer, right? So you can see, yeah, and then let's generate a test for it as well. So if we go to test, right? So we can basically do this. Should have cursor pointer class if on click is provided, right? For sure, right? So here we can say cursor pointer. Here we say on click, right? And just say whatever, null. It only matters that handler is provided, and then screen get text by example parent node. Expect tag to have class name cursor pointer, right? So if we do this, we can see that it works. If I mess up this class, it's gonna fail, right? So that's good. So that was one of the things, tiny things, right? But we want to make sure that if something is actionable, that it shows that, pretty much for accessibility reasons, right? So you can see now that this have it, right? Okay, so just one more tiny thing and then we move on. I'm just gonna say here, let's call this default without click handler. And then, yeah, now we should basically, yeah, you can see there should be no pointer at this point because there's no handler. If I go here, there is one, right? So that's super good. Okay. So I like that. That's great. So we can say that component is pretty much done, right? Okay. And it's a very simple one. So let's move on. Text over line, tooltip, stars, spinner, tabs. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this one. Yeah, so we are moving, so hopefully you guys are all signed up on Programmer Network. If not, please do so. Yeah, but as you can see, Programmer Network is built by me, and all of the components here are built by me, and now I'm moving them from Programmer Network, so from this site into a separate library. So yes, yeah, I know you are, shut up. So yeah, so yes, so you're absolutely right. I'm now open sourcing or moving the components into a separate library. So there's a lot of people who wanted to contribute to Programmer Network, and at least one way that I'll be able to provide you guys that is that at least exposing this library, right? Yeah, so this is, yeah, this is, nope. This is a huge no. Pagination, model, layout, item actions, maybe layout, I wonder, layout. Let me just see what else. Image crop, okay. Yeah, this image crop is like super bad, because some of you have reported that, and I've seen that actually, I think today or last night I was doing some API updates, some cleanup and stuff, and I've actually noticed when I try to upload a new image that this happens. This is like really bad, right? I didn't use any design framework. I just came up with it from my head. you know, this is just all of this whole platform is built inside of the stream. So I haven't done any preliminary work except just showing up here and then doing everything live, right? Yeah, so this is really bad, right? A user would expect at this point to be able to drag this shit, right? So either we're gonna build our own library that does this or try something else, right? So I want to find something better. 490 kilobytes, Jesus Christ. What is that? Super big stuff. Thank you very much for the follow. What am I actually using now? So I would like to fix this. I would very much like to fix this, right? Because we're not doing this properly. So it's more lack of competence that I had when or to say laziness of that, right? Because I haven't put in the time that we do this properly. So I wouldn't say this is a shitty library. It isn't. It's just maybe it's time that we clean this up a bit, right? Maybe it's time that we clean this up a bit because there's a lot of crap in here. Let's see. Maybe I would. All right, so you know what? Let's work with this. Let's move this guy there. We need to write, I think. Give me a moment. Yeah, I think we could do this one. I think it's a little bit more complicated, which is good. Because it's long overdue. I think we need to make sure that people can actually do a proper avatar, right? Yeah. All right, so let's close this crap up. Rebecca, my friend, good evening. Components. Image crop. Yeah, all right, beautiful. Yeah. All right, let's clean that up. Utils.js, shit. Yeah, this is super good that we actually fixed, right? So let's say here, image crop tsx. We'll have to install this crap, right? PMPMI types. Beautiful. Okay. So let's get over here and I love Rocky Linux. Okay, fair enough. All right. Let's get back here. Let's say functional component, right? And here we'll say interface I image crop procs, right? Hopefully this fella is going to give us a hand, and it will. Beautiful. Let's move this into types. Let's create just types ts, localized to this thing. And then, yeah, let's export it from there. So export this bad boy, right? We'll need to change those any's. That's not allowed. And let's do this. Okay, beautiful. We'll need to fix that. Yeah, actually I'm happy to do this one now. Yeah, this is great. I think, yep, that's pretty good. Let's do this one now because we need this super fast. Set file. Okay, so we'll see about this fella. That's great, man. If it works better, that's amazing, man. It's a good choice you did then, 100%. If you're more happy than you're not, then obviously that's a win. That's great. All right. Beautiful. Okay, so let's kind of start cleaning up this guy. Let me just review it a bit. Set file. Okay, I see. Get cropped image. All right, I see what I'm doing here, right? Okay. So this is fine, right? So we have some utils. I'm using canvas, right? Blah blah blah. So that's great. We have this use the bound effect, which use the bounds. Should this be here? Definitely not, but it's okay, right? Center aspect crop. Yeah, so there's a bunch of those little utilities that I either generated with ChatGPT or wrote myself. Yeah. All right. Well, this is gonna be a little bit, you know, more annoying than the previous did, that we moved from Programmer Network frontend to this library now, but that's okay. Okay, so let's do this just so it doesn't complain. Handle complete, so set complete drop, and then we have this set file thing, right? And then get cropped image really is coupled to this thing. Just yo, unfortunately, I mean, all the ads on my stream are completely disabled, keep in mind. So unfortunately, I'm sorry that you saw the ads. They're all absolutely disabled on my end. I can't do anything about that. So that's all Twitch, and this platform sucks ass big time. It's a terrible platform, but what can I do? You can see that all the ads on my end are disabled, and if you're seeing ads, is then that I can't do much about it. Thank you for watching it, but I don't want you to be watching. I want you to be watching me, not the ads, right? As you can see, unfortunately, we can't do much about it. Coding with Luke. Hi there, Coding with Luke. Thank you, buddy. Let me give you a shout out. That's the only thing I know. That's the only thing I know how to do. Good evening, Luke. Good evening. How are you doing, man? Thank you very much for the. Thank you very much for this. Doing good, my dude. How was the stream, man? Are you happy with the stream? Coding with Luke. Are you using where you, for Programmer Network? I'm not sure if you're signed up, Luke, for Programmer Network, but for Programmer Network we're using TipTap, right? And I agree with you that it's working with the rich text editors is very painful. It's very painful. Yes, I wrote a lot of stuff with TipTap. I wrote a whole library around TipTap, right? So actually, let me find it. I wrote a lot of stuff around it. It's very complicated. It's almost a project on its own, right? I wrote sanitization framework around it. I wrote validation around it and stuff like that, right? Yeah, man, ask it. Absolutely, I would be happy to help for sure. But I feel you. It's a very complex thing. You know, for Programmer Network initially, a couple of months ago, I used reactjs, right? But it got deprecated. Unfortunately, Facebook deprecated it, right? And I spent many months on this thing because no matter what you go, draft.js, TipTap, etc. I even made my own at one point, right? So it's very tough, right? It's very difficult because, again, if you need basic functionality like heading and this and that, that's very easy. For the most part, you can just install it and it works. Nah, it's awesome. Again, all of them are awesome in the context of basic functionalities, but when you have to create custom components like we want on Programmer Network, then that's where the complexity is. All right, let me just read the question, Luke. Let me just copy paste it here so I can read it better. Give me a moment. Making a chat app and trying to decide for each message if I should render it as a tip tap instance with edit disabled till they do it would be max 10 on page until scrolled out. I don't think it should be. No, I don't think so, Luke. I don't think. Good evening, Sina. I don't think it should be an instance, right? You should have one instance, right? And then spawn that in a place where it's needed. So in a way, yeah. I mean, depending how you look at it, right? But you don't need to maybe necessarily. But I mean, you will not render it anywhere, right? So yes, that's feasible, right? You could definitely do that, right? So you would have, list like, I don't know, item 1, item 2, item n, right? And then if the guy says edit, right, you would pretty much spawn the instance in that spot, yes. Yeah, the problem, Darius, my friend, good evening. Yeah, the problem is if you don't have multiple, then when the user refreshes the page, then you need to make your own parser to the messages as a DOM tree. What do you mean, Luke, that you need your own parser? You mean, can you elaborate a bit on that? Why would you need your own parser? I go to Programmer Network. Let me see if there's some code that I can give you. I don't actually remember. Tip tap to HTML. Yeah. So look, I'm gonna give you a piece of code here. Just maybe it can help you. I'll store this in a gist. This is how I render tip tap content, and I'll explain it to you now. Thank you everybody for your follows. So if you take a look at this gist, you'll notice one difference here, probably to compare to what you have, right? So give me a second. So you'll notice one thing over here, right? If I recall this how I wrote it, you'll notice that I have this tip tap to HTML utility, right? That I use across Programmer Network. But you'll notice one difference here. One difference here is that I'm using sanitization, right? I'm sanitizing here. So you can see I'm also using, where is this thing? Allow tags. I'm using the sanitize from sanitize HTML, right? So you can see that whenever I'm actually rendering my tip-tap content, right, I'm making sure that it's sanitized, right? But instead of doing this in random places, I incorporated this thing as part of the generate HTML, right? So you can see here my HTML content. So generate HTML, which is a utility, as you already know, I'm sure, is a utility that comes from TipTap. I pass the contents of that into my sanitize. So I pass the HTML from TipTap as the first argument, and then the sanitization rules as a second argument. And those rules are this sanitize HTML is a very explicit library. It's a very secure library, right? It's secure in a way that you have to explicitly specify what it is that you allow to be included in the content that you are rendering, because of course you don't want your users to use script tags and stuff like that in your chat messages. You don't want to render this, right? So you can see here, I'm explicitly saying which tags I'm allowing, plus the get controls thing is, different instances of my editor in Programmer Network, they have different controls, right? So for example, to illustrate that for you, if I go to our Twitter type of feed, I only support bold, code, and YouTube, right? If I go to write a new article, right, for example, or create a new course or whatever, so if I go to, let's say, articles, right, and say write a new article, you can see here I support different types of controls, right? So different instances can have different controls depending where you're using the editor, right? So hence that's where this detail is right here. Get controls, right? Here I'm saying allow tags are those by default, so allow those tags everywhere, and also whichever this get controls utility returns, right? So that's how it works, right? So this is one of the things if you... Yeah, the problem I'm doing is more string markdown, to HTML. But why not store? So what are you storing in your database if you have a database? What it is that you're storing, right? Because I would much rather suggest you to store the stringified tip-tap content than HTML, for example. And I can give you many arguments for that, but I just need to know what it is that you're currently storing, if you're storing anything. Because whenever you're working with rich text editors, right, you wanna store a format in your database that's agnostic and decoupled of your CSS, right? So you don't want to be storing class full bar in your database. You don't want to be storing things like, you know, H1 ID mom, dad, dog, right? Well, exactly. You want to store some raw stuff. So if you're storing the raw markdown, I could definitely agree with that as well. As long as you're not, you definitely don't want to store HTML. That's completely wrong. Completely wrong. There's so many reasons why you would not want to do that, right? So don't say that, please, because that's not true. You don't store coloring. You're not storing colors in database. Nobody does that. Your coloring is defined by your UI and by your parser when you're parsing back that specific content into your front end. But you don't store... Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Look, I agree with you. So I'm doing the two. So I'm storing... So if I show you, for example, my database here in Programmer Network, the local one, well, a random potato, you have to, in order to know the answer to that question, you have to understand how rich text editors work and what metadata they carry, right? So I'll show you that. No, I don't think so. Why do you think it's heavy? Absolutely not. Because think about it this way. What if you want to implement search, right? What if you wanted to implement some structured search, right? So it's not heavy. I think it's as heavy as your raw text, right? Right, so I don't think it is heavy. So if we actually try to refresh this, give me a second. So if we go, for example, to articles, right? So you can see, let's take a look at one of the... So this is how my, for example, article right now is stored in Programmer Network, right? So let's actually go JSON viewer. Yeah, so if we take a look at this, right, this is how I store it, right? Why do I think this is potentially good? What other benefit out of this could come out? Well, for example, let's imagine you want to implement some structured search or something, right? You could technically, I mean, I'm storing those things as strings right now, meaning I'm storing them just stringified, but I could have been storing them in some I could be storing them in some sort of, you know, JSONB in Postgres, or if I was using Cassandra or MongoDB, I could literally store this as a MongoDB document, which then essentially allows you to do search, allows you to do various things. You will have an issue to switch to a different editor. I will never switch to a different editor, and if I do, I'm going to write a migration script that switches this content to that editor, right? But look, you're not doing it wrong for sure. I think storing raw stuff is fine as well. This just makes it easier, right? This makes it a lot easier because I can just store this back into JSON, set it into tip-tap state, and stuff works out of the box, right? So if for you now, you have to do a few more crazier steps to make your thing be as you want it, right? Exactly, look. So you can avoid that thing because you can see, like, the only difference between what you're storing and me is that there's a clear, we are storing the anchor, location, and etc. I don't know how much you know about how rich text editors are built, but that's the fundamental difference, right? Exactly, right? So this is good. I like that, right? Because I know that this thing, for example, if I switch to a different editor, I would write a recursive function that basically migrates this to that specific state. Would I do that in 20 minutes or 2 hours? I mean, who cares? But also the chances that you're going to switch from TipTap to something else anytime soon are marginally low. So that shouldn't be an argument even when you're thinking about this. Oh, well, I might switch to a different editor one day. I mean, you might just as well switch from React to something completely different, right? This is not an argument to take into the account now, right? Because chances that you're going to switch from TipTap are, again, unreasonable, right? My pleasure, man. And thank you for rating. I mean, I that's why I stream, man. I stream so I can communicate to people and help out and also get some help as well. So absolutely, dude. Laco, thank you very much, buddy. That's a very kind comment, man. I'm happy that you're enjoying the stream. And let's have a community. Let me follow you, Luke, as well. I see that you followed me. Let's join each other's streams. Let's have fun. Let's whatever. Thank you very much, man, for doing a raid. It's quite fun. I never know who to raid or whatever. I pretty much suck at Twitch. It's not something I have yet. I'm loving your content. Somebody on YouTube saying I'm loving your content. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Luke. Thank you, man. Again, I'm gonna need to go back and do a bit of this work still. But if I can give you a hand with anything, anytime, I've spent enormous amount of hours into TipTap. So if I can ever help with anything, just jump on board and let's discuss it together, man. Panday from India. Well, welcome to the stream, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Let's get some work now. Again, this stream is about building a programming network. And also, of course, chatting to you guys. So, yeah, let's get some work done on image load. Image unload. What is this thing? Reactive and handler image element. So I guess this would be the type, right? Yeah, look, it's very painful. So just embrace it and that's it. It's incredibly painful for sure. Yeah. HTML element. All right. Well, this doesn't seem to be the type. So I wonder what is the actual type of this. Yeah, that's a little bit strange, right? Isn't it? I never know those native types, man. It's just so annoying. Why is this not an early return? Right? Let's do that center aspect crop. What is this? Let's see, where is this coming from? Okay, so this is some sort of a prop, okay? Or is it? No, not really. Okay, this is coming from the utils. All right, I see, okay. So yeah, I think I wrote this very long ago, so let's figure out what the hell is going on in here. Let's ask Jean Code Van Debug. Where is my Jean Code Van Debug? What is the TypeScript type of the event that's passed to the callback of Jean Code Van Debug? All right, let's close this stuff in here. Blah 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 blah. Synthetic event. Okay, so yeah. Shit, should have assumed that. Yeah, well, that's what it is. But makes complete sense, right? Because so just so we're on the same page, we have to use the synthetic event. This is basically an abstraction over native events in React, right? So it's always some sort of a synthetic event, right? It's just, that's what it is. So that's okay. So event current width and height, center aspect. I actually don't even remember what this is. Make aspect crop. What is this? React image crop. Okay. I see. All right. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn this fella into TS, and then we're gonna ask our robot to actually turn all of this into TypeScript. Let's add types to those utils, and then we're gonna obviously review it, right? What it did. And then we're gonna hopefully push this soon, but we need to fix the production thing, right? Because again, if I go to the dashboard and profile, it's just, this is kind of unacceptable, right? I mean, this is not to fix, this is just kind of fiddling with some props. It's still, I would expect it that you can actually drag stuff like from one corner to the other and then scale that image down. So that's pretty much the functionality we want, right? And that now we're not getting that, which is kind of, you know, like not super ideal, right? Okay, let's see what this guy does for us, and then we'll have to figure out. So we need to actually, there's several things we need to do here. We need to break this into multiple utils, right? Once, if you remember, I've actually created the, I think we have utils somewhere. So we need to separate those things into separate types of utils, string utils, array. I have to check how is Discord doing it. Let me see, Leo. How can I change my avatar? View profile, maybe. How do I? No, shit. Where do I change my picture? View profile. Streaming. Yeah, I did, but I don't remember. Shouldn't it be the edit user profile? Yes. My account. Why would I disable streamer mode? And what is the streamer mode? Oh, I see, streamer mode. I don't care, man. But let's check it then later. Whatever. Canvas preview. All right, so let's let's do work. Okay, so let's create a new folder, call it canvas. How did I do other stuff? So and then we'll need to try testing that as well. So index ts. Let's say canvas utils.test.ts. No, I didn't switch to, I mean, all of the libraries, JavaScript libraries that I wrote today or 10 years ago, they're all written in TypeScript. So it's a different type of thing, right? I mean, I can give you my phone now. I think you guys so far should have remembered that I don't care, right? You've seen my address. I can give you my phone if you want. I genuinely don't care. Genuinely don't care. I don't know what can you do with my phone number, right? I agree. Go is better for some things, for sure. Yeah. All right, that's cool. Yeah, all right, cool. So let's break this stuff out. So actually, Leo, that's a very good question, man. I need to get back to recording those videos because I also enjoy them, you know, going somewhere in the nature and just talking some stuff for sure soon. Maybe latest this weekend. Maybe latest this weekend. I agree with you for sure, man. Yeah, actually, well, to be very frank with you, you know, they were also very fun to record, you know, just being outside and you know, and doing stuff. That was pretty cool. So, for sure, man. Thank you for reminding me of that. Definitely, man. Definitely agree with you. Any language is good to start, my friend. Any language is good to start. Don't get carried away by languages and details. You can use any language to learn programming, right? Is JavaScript a great language to start? Absolutely. It's way better language to start with if you want to get to something tangible very quickly than, let's say, C or C++, right? I started with Pascal and Cobol and C and C++, and it was very difficult when I was young because for a long time you have no idea why are you doing something, right? So you should for sure start with some language that gets you tangible results quickly, and JavaScript is good at that, right? If you whatsoever just want to start backend, right? It doesn't matter when you write your tests, right? It only matters if you write them or not. And of course, again, I would not be writing most of these tests if I'm not turning this into a library, because it would be a waste of time. I have a different approach to my code and libraries that I'm writing, because libraries, I now am porting code to a bunch of other people that might end up depending on that code, right? So some things in your system, there might be 10% of your system that's more worth testing than 90% of your system. So tests which are useful are the tests which you know that are needed for a specific fragile legacy or any type of subsystem you have in your code, right? So you have to identify where tests in your system are needed, right? Every single system out there has, for any software, has some point of failure, and that you have to minimize to almost never, meaning this can never fail. So you should test things that matter, test things that have side effects, right? There's no approach, man. I write the implementation, then I generate the tests. That's all that there is to it, really. I write a component, then I generate the tests now for with ChatGPT, right? Yeah, why did I have this? Wait a minute. Use the bounce effect. This is so strange, man. Why did I have this there? Well, that's one of the tests. Yes, that's called. So if you're referring to snapshots, a snapshot is. I'm not sure if I understand your question. So if I'm not answering it, I'm sorry. But a snapshot is just a snapshot of how your component currently looks like. If the next time you run your tests, your snapshot looks different, your tests are gonna fail, right? But let's see. I'm not sure if you mean the utils that I'm doing now. I haven't gotten to tests yet. I don't know what is gonna be the approach, right? Like I don't know yet, right? I need to get there first. Oh, yes, where is it? I don't know yet. We'll see. I haven't written the tests. I haven't gotten to the point yet where that works, right? So once we get there, once that works, hopefully in a minute, then I'll let you know. I don't honestly know yet right now. Can I do this instead? Somebody writing on kick.com. Good evening, buddy. come we have a debounce, like a little bit different debounce here? Use debounce, right? This one, right? But then this has a debounce value and stuff. So no, that's not quite the same. So what is this supposed to do? We have a timeout. We clean it up over here. And then we call the apply on the dependencies. Okay. But where are we actually using this? Ah, okay, sorry. Here, I see. Do you think starting with C or C++ helped you in your career? It's a good question. It's a good question, honestly. Maybe it has helped me with some things. But did it make me a better JavaScript developer, web developer? Absolutely not. I think Leo asked me yesterday, like, if I learn C, will it help me in my web? It will not, right? I mean, so basically, people who are telling you opposite, they're gonna tell you, well, you know, if you start with C, you're gonna be more wary of memory allocation. Like, look, you don't need to work with C to be wary of anything, right? I think that fundamentally those languages solve very different problems. They're completely opposite worlds and what they're solving. C is a low level, system level, driver level language, right? Used to solve, you know, things for Internet of Things, embedded devices, drivers, and you know, for things which run in a constrained environments with less RAM, less memory, less CPU, or more. It doesn't matter, right? But it's used for vastly different things, right? You will not be optimizing in your web app an array of 10 items in your list for the most part. Yeah, exactly, Leo. But that's different, right? So it's gonna give you some insights, but it's not gonna make your. We need to understand the context here. We need to. You asked if it's gonna make you. I don't think that's gonna make you better. Like, you should get some insights into what memory is, to be wary of certain things. But it's not going to make you better, let's say, writing React, because you are constrained to the browser and to those tools that you write every day, right? So you cannot run away from that. You cannot make React faster or slower than it already is, right? So you are constrained to the limitations of the tool you're using, right? So you cannot say, well, because I know C, now my React is going to be faster. It's not, right? Because you don't have the ability to go to that low level to do it, right? You just don't, right? So there's nothing you can apply from C or C++ in this world. Maybe one, well, that's questionable. That doesn't matter, right? If you understand the memory or not, it will still not make your software in the browser better, because you don't have the ability to make it better. Are you gonna go and create less objects to save some heap memory and stuff? Maybe, but you will probably not, right? So this is not to say that you shouldn't learn anything that you can. It would be ignorant to suggest people not to learn new things. You should strive to learn anything every day, right? But again, the question here is, if I'm building web applications in the browser, is learning C gonna make me better? And the question is absolutely not. It's not gonna make you better, because again, those two worlds are solving completely two different problems, right? But should you still learn some of those languages and stuff? Absolutely. You're gonna get some ideas, you're gonna feel that you understand more, you're gonna have more confidence in how some things work on a lower level, but you will not write better React because you know C or C++ or Haskell, right? Etc., right? If you mean those, somebody's asking a question on YouTube, it's called error lens. It's called error lens extension. Yeah, okay. It's gonna... I guess it's telling me to do this, right? That actually, wait a minute. Yeah, my pleasure, man, my pleasure. Oh yeah, okay, I see, sorry, my bad. Where am I using this? Let me see again. I don't actually remember where is this even used and for what. This takes a callback, no? Yeah, this takes a callback. Use the bounce effect, takes a callback. Thank you very much for the follow, guys. I don't like the implementation of this. Something feels off. Give me a second. Actually, you know what? Instead of doing this and wasting time, give me a moment. Where is this utils that we're trying to do here? So actually, nah, actually, wait, yeah. So let's give it to a robot, to Jean-Claude Van. Improve this. Don't use apply and add types. Center aspect, blah blah blah. Center aspect crop. So what is this thing doing? Yeah, this is a little bit, yeah. Make aspect crop. What? So that's also a bug there, right? Isn't it? Center crop, set crop, center crop, make aspect crop. Jesus Christ, man. So much. So we'll solo queue. Good evening, buddy. All right, let me just get down here. Yeah, so let's grab this fella. And let's go to the utils we're trying to write at least. Image crop, no. Where is it? Canvas, no. Utils. Yeah, in here, right? Yeah. Yeah, but why is it complaining about this? That's not true. Should we like cast it to... Yeah, that's inaccurate, right? Yeah, it is a dependency list, so why is it not understanding that? Yeah, that's super strange. All right. Use the bounce effect, dependency list. Yeah. Yeah, but no, not really, right? Because this is going to be an array, right? So I think that's what's failing to understand, right? This is already an array. We're not going to put it in another array. That would be a multi-dimensional array, right? But maybe actually it's complaining about... I wonder though, right? Because if we take a look at this, where's the depths? Yeah, this is supposed to be... No, it shouldn't. No. It doesn't actually matter, right? So let's yeah, you know what? Let's just, okay. So get crop image. Yeah, so let's just yeah, this is literally getting stuck on the useless details. So screw that, right? So let's break this down into, okay, screw that, center aspect, get cropped image. All right, so let's clean this thing up, right, a bit first, and then we're gonna deal with those things, right? So let's get over here. Let's comment this out. Actually, Thank you everybody for your follows. Yeah, I'm not actually. Yeah, I don't like this. That's the problem, right? So let me try to simplify this a bit. I don't actually like this at all. Let me try simplifying it a bit, right? So I'm gonna do this for now. Try doing that, right? But actually I'm gonna go back here. Median width, median height, aspect. Let's go back here. Okay. Standard crop. So all of this stuff is okay. Let's allow it to complain a bit. I see. Okay. Let's see if you ever built some piece of software at work to make your job easier that you wish you would have built outside. No, I mean, I would never do that, right? I would never do that. Do I write shell scripts and stuff to automate my everyday work? Sure, but building a software at work to automate something that's in 99.999% cases you don't want to do that, right? Because there's almost always usually a tool that exists out there already, right? But have I ever built it? I don't remember play one game. Does this thing actually take a thing called crop? It does, okay. And what is it complaining about? Let's see, crop is X, Y. Okay, so those are the. All right, so that's okay. So that's fine, right? That's perfectly fine. So. I see what's happening here. All right, no, all good, all good. So here we have to say, right? It's called error lens. It's called error lens. All right. I'm sorry, guys, for not answering all your questions. I'm going to get to you in a second. Otherwise, I will end the stream and not feel that we've done enough of progress, right? So bear with me, and then we can have a long chat again. I just need to do this. Super strange. Wait. Set completed crop. Yeah, I guess this is what we want to say, right? Okay, that's great. Then here we're saying crop, which gets this. It's calls this, right? Okay, so yeah, so we're kind of, yeah, we're getting there, right? It's fine, right? We'll need to, yeah. It's just one of the little bit less generic ones, right? So we can't just generically solve it. We need to carefully go line by line and see what's completed crop. Yeah, so we can see here completed crop isn't actually a boolean, right? So yeah, so I'm happy we're doing this, I can tell you that much. So actually let's set this to null, or actually let's set it to something more meaningful. So let's try to figure out what it is. So we can see completed crop expects width and height, right? So let's try that, right? So here we'll actually go and say, hey, bad boy, here we'll say that this is either an object with width number, height number, or null, right? That's first thing, right? Then here we can say crop, so we can say width crop dot width and height, right? Yeah, and then yeah, so that's better, right? Jim, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's I guess fine, right? Handle complete, set completed crop. So we're gonna call this, and then where do we actually use completed crop? We have the debounds here, and we're saying, hey, why do I debounce this whatsoever? That's the question. Let's actually not debounce this at all. Let's just use effect for now. Let's get kind of rid of that, right? I think I have a video on YouTube for terminal. I think I recorded that video a couple of months ago. And there's also a repository you can see there. So click on that repository and then open the video. Super. Canvas preview. Beautiful. And then this thing is what we basically are moving to the utils, right? So that's great. But let's be careful here. So let's go. That's, I guess, fine. So yeah, this is kind of almost renderable, right? We can almost render this in our storybook, and we should get there as soon as we can, right? For sure, right? Get cropped image. Let's, is this canvas related as well to some degree whatsoever? Let's see. Yeah, so we could move this bad boy as well there. So let's, yeah, exactly, right? Super. Then let's test that. Let's write some tests for it, and then whatever, right? So let's move this fella right over here. And yeah, right. So let's say public static, because we're not using this context anywhere, so we can just as well write the static methods instead. Let's get rid of the lambda thing, and if we go to the Jean-Claude Van Debug, which is my chatbot, my LLM, apologies. Okay, beautiful. And then this is returning a promise and a blob, right? So we need to do this thing. Beautiful. Now, what is the context that it's complaining about? Context is possibly null. That's actually true. And I guess, yeah, I mean, okay, let's solve this, right, as well. It's okay, but if context is null, the question is, should we just reject, right, or should be whatever? So let's just come here and say, if no ctx, or we could reject the promise, right? So what we could do, we could say return, exactly. Ah, it's reading my mind so well, because we still adhere to this interface, to this thing. But here whatsoever, we have to say blob or error, right? I guess, right? Canvas is empty. Yeah, that's reasonable, I think. We'll have to generate tests with a Jean-Claude Van Debug, but that's great. Okay, so cool. So now technically we can try rendering this in our, so all right, let's see. So let's create stories for this. So I'll actually get rid of this utils file now, because we have those things in those new utils. Let's actually go over here. I have this central place from which I'm exporting all of these classes. So let's say here, canvas, canvas utils from canvas. And then let's make sure that we are exporting stuff from there. Ah, I wrote the whole class inside of a test file. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Jean-Claude Van Debug, yeah, that's how I called my large language model in ChatGPT. So if I go to my ChatGPT, I have my own 2 custom LLMs. One is called Jean-Claude Van Debug. I gave it that name a couple of days ago. This is my kind of coding partner. And then I have Arnold Bizinator. It's my co-founder. It's basically my virtual co-founder. Right, so I created 2 LLMs, which are specialized. One is specialized to help me program and copy paste code. Leo, my friend, thank you very much for being around. I wish you well, man. Enjoy your series. And again, thank you so much for coming as always, man. I love you. All right. Where were we? I just lost the thought. Okay. So that's great. Let's import the shit. What did I just do here? Nothing. So let's import the utils, right? So we're gonna say here, import canvas utils from utils, right? And then here we're gonna say canvas preview, I suppose. Okay, that's okay. Canvas get cropped image. HTML image element. I guess we have to make sure that right, we need to ensure of that so that doesn't complain. We need to make sure that this is an actual image. And then let's see, what is this guy complaining about? Completed crop. Drav, my friend, good evening. And then this crop, so this is not really a crop, right? That's the thing. So this is our own variation of a crop, right? So that's a slight mistake there, which is Altan, thank you very much, buddy. Welcome to the Basement Dweller organization. Yeah, so that's okay. We'll fix that. It's not a crop. This is basically width, number, height, number, right? And then we can, are we actually using this type somewhere? Ah, shit, so this does actually require a crop. That's a little bit awkward. So that's not correct then. This is good, because maybe we found a bug inside of this thing. So that's perfect. So wait a minute, so... I see, okay. So maybe we don't need this state at all, right? Maybe we just needed the crop state. Didn't we have the crop itself? Yeah, here we had it, right? We should have... Yeah, let me think for a second, wait. Where is this? Set crop. Yeah, this thing should be a crop, right? So this type here, technically, right, should be crop type, right? I think so, right? It's not optional. So why is it complaining? Like, what? Find is not... Ah, it's because we're getting those things from the outside. I see. Okay, no worries. All good, all good. So actually, that's very good. That's why we're doing this. So that's great, right? So this thing technically, right, has to adhere to that thing there. So unit as well, right? No, unit. Type string is not able to type P. Okay. So this is some sort of an enum, I suppose, right? So maybe we have to import that, right? So crop, this is an interface. Maybe pixel crop, percent crop. Yeah, that's a strange, yeah. That's a strange decision they made. It's a little bit strange, right? What the fuck, man? Are you kidding me? So it's an enum of some sort or whatever. What is it? Seriously, is this like, are you kidding me? Wow, okay. All right. Max height, min height. Max height does not exist in type crop. Okay, fair enough. So let's remove it from here. I mean, there is a unit in here, right? For sure. So, oh, sorry. Yeah, that's fine. So what else are we missing then? X and Y. We're missing X and Y. I see. Shit. All right, so that's fine now, right? All right. Let's see what the file is. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Set file. Yeah, we'll need to figure that out. But yeah, because I get this, right? We'll need to go to Programmer Network now, Codebase, and actually check how I'm using this and what the type of this is. But it's fine. We're gonna do those two in a moment. So let's go ahead and create a story for this. So we're gonna say image crop.stories.tsx, right? And so let's tell the Jean-Claude Van Debug to say Jean-Claude Van Debug generate storybook stories, and then we can start messing with it and fixing it functionality wise as well. Yeah, this one is an annoying one, but we have to get it right because it is an abstraction that I wrote just over this React image crop thing, right? Get some water here. It's my LLM, my large language model. It's my generative AI here. So this is going to be a little bit difficult to write in a storybook because, yeah, I'll show you in a couple of minutes. I'll show you in a couple of minutes what I did. Just give me a moment. I really need to focus on this one. Otherwise, I will not get anywhere in this stream with it, right? So I need to be careful. Image crop stories, what? I see, okay. Yeah, that should be okay now. Yeah, so now basically, yeah, it's gonna, don't think this is gonna render in Storybook, of course, but let's see, let's call this, let's just clean it up a bit. Components image crop, yeah, and I don't think it's gonna render because there's no image, right, that we've set. So actually, you can kind of see it's rendering a bit here, but there's no image. So let's try to set a path to an image, right? So if we go to this repository we're building today, actually, this thing that I shared with you guys, I'll just copy this image in a new tab, and I'm going to try to use it in our storybook, right? So I'm going to give it a path here. Yeah, something is deprecated, yeah. It doesn't really matter. I don't care much. All right, let's see. Storybook here. Okay. This is my story now, and this is fine. So as you can see, actually, it does kind of work almost. Okay, I see. Right. File. Let's see, set file. Let's do this. Beautiful. Okay, actually, so this is very good. So I think we are getting somewhere. we are missing something, and let's see what is that something that we're missing. Change, so we're missing this, I suppose, right? That completed, handle complete, that file. Yeah, okay, so there's something off right now with dragging this, so we have messed that up most likely. Thank you very much for the follow, appreciate it. Yeah, I just wonder though if this is mandatory, like do we have to? So this is, I think that, so this is, I believe, the props for where should reps. Good evening, buddy. I don't know. I mean, how long have I been streaming? Maybe for a year or something. But I mean, we're only doing this in a stream, right? So it's really hard to say that, right? This whole platform is built pretty much in those few hours a week, right? So it's hard to evaluate that, right? Okay, so we are passing actually x and y, right? So if we increase it here to, let's say, 50, then the crop should be starting somewhere else, right? And as you can see, it does in fact start there, but for some reason it resets, right? I wonder if it's this crop. I'm actually gonna do, I'll just, so what happens in canvas preview? This actually is a crop. Yeah. Get cropped image. Crop. And yeah, actually we should not really be using this at all, right? We should really be using crop, right? I suppose. And yeah, so if I go to production, right? If we go to Programmer Network Production, I go to my profile, I edit, I go here, then I choose a file, right? So we can see that it works in production. So we'll need to make sure that, yeah, all the things we've changed now, that the regressions we've introduced are actually gone. So let's see. Luke, my friend, thank you very much for coming, dude. It was very kind of you. Thank you for the raid. Yeah, let's see each other another time, man. I'm gonna also round up soon. My wife is going to bed, so I can also see that she was knocking the wall for me to be more quiet. Cult, good evening, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so this is kind of fine. The only thing maybe that's messing up right now could be this use effect that we're using, right? So if we tried using the use debounce thing, maybe it would work. Use debounce or use debounce effect, yeah. Yeah, so if I actually go to here, use the bounce effects, this is where I was kind of using it before, right? If we try doing this instead, what kind of programming you do? I'm sorry, man, I cannot answer questions like that. I don't even know what that means. No offense. I mean, if you don't know what this is, then any answer I give you is useless, right? Let's take a look at that. Actually, let me just increase this to see if this debounce is actually working at all. So I'm going to get here and I'm going to set it to 1 second. So let's see when this loads now. Yeah, so it does actually work. Okay. Oh, I mean, you can clearly see what I'm doing, right? So it's clear what type of programmer I am, right? I'm building a web platform, right? So I'm a web programmer, right? So I mean, your question is very broad. What type of programmer are you? I don't know what that means, right? You need to be more specific, because I cannot give you an answer based on that, right? Okay, so that's fine. So that's not it. So let's see. Okay, so now we can actually play with this in here, and that's okay. Let's zoom in a bit, maybe. So yeah, so there's something now wrong with the drag, I believe, right? So if I go here, let's get rid of this and use dependency, right? Yeah, this kind of looks a little bit. We need a little space in there. Set crop, center crop, median width, height, unit width. Cool, man. I definitely could. I definitely could, but I'm not, and I won't be. Image ref current. Okay, let's maybe debug a bit, right? Let's debug a bit. Okay, so this gets fired. Let's do set the file whatsoever, right? We don't have the file right now, so our storybook is kind of limited in this sense. So that's maybe the problem, because we set this file, and most likely what happens, this set file is called, and then this file here, let's see. So no, actually that's image load. Yes. Okay, so let's see if this is getting fired now. So let's try console logging this bad boy here. Let's get rid of this one. So now when the image loads, we should get that log, and we do. Width is 429, 423. Redux Saga, the whole programmer network is not open source, but yes, this library that I'm building, I am open sourcing the UI of programmer network. Yes. So you have the repository included. Yeah, so I'm open sourcing some parts of this platform, but the whole platform, no, not really, no. Handle complete, handle change. So let's see what handle change does here. Percent crop. Is that maybe a problem? Set crop, percent crop. And what does the percent crop give us? The unit, the width, the height, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's a little bit weird. So let's say locked is false. Let's try now. Yeah, so there seems to be something wrong, right? We can see that width is 1 and height is 1. So what happens when we try doing this, when we call handle change, for some reason, X and Y, sorry, the width and height get messed up. You can see height is now 18 and Y is 24, sorry, width is now 1. Wow, and height is 2, so something gets messed up, right? So let's see why. This is for a program network, sorry. Just try one thing here. Okay, so the handle change now is not there, so when we drag stuff, nothing happens. Okay, it makes sense, right? Let me go back to program network. Let me see what I did here. Handle change, set crop, right? Yes. So is this the fronted project? Yeah. So what did we change to affect this? If there's aspect, let's see. Where's this aspect thing? If there's no aspect, return. Yes, 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 yes. Aspect is 1. Aspect is 1. That's all good. This is still the programmer network thing. Yeah. Use debounds. That's good. Handle change. Handle complete. Where's our handle complete? Handle complete is here. There's no blah blah blah. Yeah. So that all looks pretty good if you ask me. This is really doesn't matter because this is really only executed if we actually have the file. So we can even conditionally say here, only call this if file, right? So if there's set file, do this, otherwise undefined, right? Yeah, we could use a debugger, but I think we're getting there. It's fine, right? I'm not, so that it's fine. So the only now thing is, I think when we call the handle change, for some reason, set crop gets a little bit messed up. And I think that's also because we're missing a few things that we had before, right? Median width, make aspect crop. Aspect, container height, container width. We could, of course, just go right and read the docs of this library, and we will in a second, I think. But let's do it step by step. Ah, shit, I keep changing the wrong code base. I'm sorry. It's this thing here, okay? An image loads. So let's try that again. So when the image loads, we get this. Basically, right? So width is 423. Height and width is that. So that's probably correct because I think we're also zoomed in. Yeah, so that's great. Now when I start dragging this, basically the size goes to crap, right? Thank you very much for the follows. And then if we go to the front end, to a programmer network thing. Let's see what's the difference actually that we have, because I think I might actually know the difference. So this is the difference, it seems. Here we have a different state for the crop, and it's. Lako, thank you very much for the sub, man. That's very kind of you, man. Thank you very much for supporting this project, man. Thanks a lot, dude. Play one game. Sleep well, my friend. Thank you for being here as always. I appreciate you very much. I hope you have a good rest, and I'll see you tomorrow in another stream, okay? Chang, good evening, Chang. How are you doing? Ah, shit, man, why I keep changing? Okay, so give me a second here. So for some reason, so that's the only difference between those two code bases that I'm just moving here. Handle complete set, yeah, but that shouldn't matter, right? Yeah, that shouldn't matter, right? You mean today or in general? coding since 2008 professionally. Yeah, okay, I don't actually know. Thank you very much, man. That's super kind of you. Not because of the sub or the money, just because of the compliment. Thank you, man. It means a lot. Some recognition always boosts motivation, and yeah. a lot of things. I think the safest thing is you can take a look at my LinkedIn, and actually I have to update my, I need to start kind of using my own platform that I'm building. I need to add my experience here, so when people actually ask me, I can just send them my programmer network profile, right? I don't know why I haven't done that yet. Jesus Christ, I need to do that. Okay, all right, so let's go basically to this. How many hours you spend coding every day? Somebody asking on YouTube. I mean, I have a full-time job, man, so I'm not just randomly coding every day, right? I go to work and that's it. And sometimes in the evening I have the stream and that's it. I don't just randomly sit and code, right? I have a kid and a wife and a full-time job, so I do the stream when I have the time, right? Yeah, so this technically, right, should pretty much work, right? So only this even. Okay, so let's try one thing, right? Like, so yeah, technically this is all that's needed, right? Right? So React crop takes the crop, right? Technically that's all that's needed, right? Yeah, because Tensei, it's because programmer network is not written in TypeScript. It was written in JavaScript, and that doesn't matter. This is a different project. I keep switching back and forth. I'm moving my front end now from programmer network into a separate library. So into a component library that you can see linked on top of that chat, right? So now I'm writing it in TypeScript just because it's a library, right? Because some other people might end up using it and they maybe will want to have the types, right? I think, yeah, the problem probably is, so let's try to just simplify some stuff just so we can isolate. There are many reasons, right? TypeScript is great when project is stable and when you know what you're doing. This whole platform is built live, right, with limited amount of time, and I'm building everything: infrastructure, backend, frontend, design, all of it. And when you're in iterative phase, when you're in a phase of constantly mocking up things and trying things out, TypeScript isn't useful time-wise. It's always about time spent and value gained, right? So when you are at a certain state of development, TypeScript actually isn't useful, right? It gets in the way, right? And even if it does prevent you to make some errors, even so, those errors are still worth because you save a lot of time, right? So that's why there's always a tool for us. Absolutely right. Now, all the libraries, at least JavaScript libraries that I've ever released, they're always built in TypeScript. That's because it's a different set of things, because most people will want canvas is empty. Canvas is empty. Okay, I see. So that's the problem. Is that the problem? Was this the problem all along? Or is this something that we just encountered now? Let's take a look at that. Circular draw. Yeah, okay, good. That's great. So let's take a look at that. Canvas is empty. Oh, is that because, never mind. I think it's because I most likely on image load. Yeah, no, actually it's fine, right? On image load, blah, 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 current targets. So right, you have to, I mean, the best advice I can give you, right, is not to listen to YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter influencers, right? Most of those people are not actually writing code, they're just talking crap, right? So make technical decisions based on your use case, based on your state in which you're in, etc., right? And always question those who give you advice. Are they actually building anything themselves, or they're just copy pasting advice, or re-recording videos that someone else did, right? This is pure React with Redux and just, yeah. So programmer network is, when you go to programmer network, this is just React, right? Let me just share it here in case some of you actually want to sign up. Is this error? Where was this error? Blah, blah, blah. No, canvas is empty. Exactly. So why? Why is canvas empty? No, man, absolutely great questions. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit quiet. My wife and kid are sleeping in the room next door, right? So that's why. Okay, exactly right. Wait a minute. So that actually makes no sense. Give me a moment. Let me go to the stories. The set file, yeah. So this is why, right? Those are not mandatory props, so that's why this was happening, right? Okay. So now we should actually not have that error anymore. I am using the code pilot. No, I am using it all the time in the stream, right? I just don't use the chat, right? I mean, if I come here, right, you'll notice that I am using it, right? Of course I'm using it. I am using it. I'm using ChatGPT. It's just right now we're in a state where I just want to actually just go through. I'm reviewing my own code. I wrote this code very long ago, and I'm now making sure when we're adding types that there's nothing else, right? Because we're turning this into a library, like I said, right? So you guys will be able to, if you want to contribute, build new features or program network. So I need to make sure that it's done right? So if we go to the very simple example that they have, really, right? This is the simple example they have. You have this, they haven't changed. So basically, if we just comment out everything other than those things, right? Yeah, you're Boo, you're absolutely right, man. I'm aware of that. I just haven't had the time to do it, right? Because most people, honestly, they sign up with either GitHub or LinkedIn or something like that, right? So username and email and password is the least used feature right now. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so there was something messed up there. Let's see now. Okay, Superman. There we go. I don't know what happened there. Okay, that's very good. Super. So we messed something up there. Okay, that's good. That's better. Sure. Okay, so so basically the reason why I started moving this component now from all others is, again, if I go to production and I edit my profile, right? The biggest problem right now is that if I choose an image like this, it's not actually allowing me to choose the whole area, because so essentially what we want to do, right? We want to make sure that you can select any area you want, but then we scale down the image to the maximum width, height, and width. So that's not what it was, how it was done before, right? Okay, so that's really good. This is the wrong repository. It's this one. So that's really good. So we'll need to create a few more stories, right? So for programmer network, I'm not using anything like Auth0 or super tokens, whatever. I'm using I'm just using JSON Web Token library, and I'm not using anything. At Dream Data, where I work, I'm using Auth0. Throughout my career, past 15 years, I've used many of those services around. The problem with those services is they're amazing and you should definitely use them, The problem with these services relative to the project like Programmer Network is this. Let me show you. So right now we have more than 1,000 people signed up at Programmer Network. So now we have around 1,100 users. Let me show you one thing. So let's imagine that I've decided to use auth0.com for Programmer Network, right? Right now I would be paying $70. In a couple of months, I would be paying $175. And then eventually when we have 5,000 users, you can see how the pricing gets crazy. The entire bill right now to run Programmer Network is around, I pay for Hetzner for like 25 euros. So if I opted in to use auth0, only the authentication part would cost more than the whole infrastructure right now. So as you can see now, I'm hosting all of my infrastructure in Hetzner, and I'm paying 21 euros a month for those resources, right? And actually, if I show you my infrastructure, how I did it, just so you can kind of follow, right, what is actually happening. So if I go to the diagrams right here and open it up, so this is my infrastructure. I built the infrastructure purely on Docker and Docker Swarm. So you can see now this is my infrastructure in Hetzner. I have the only thing that's not hosted on Hetzner is the front end. Front end is hosted on React on Cloudflare pages. I have internal Hetzner firewall and a host system on a host level. And I'm only allowing the traffic from Cloudflare IP ranges, right? I have Nginx internally mostly for renewing my SSL, my certificates for the API, Grafana, Prometheus and stuff. I have the Prometheus node exporter and stuff. Basically, I've set up the error logging, logs, low-key, log rotate, and various types of things. So for example, I've made my own version of centric.js, if you will, right? And then I have error logging to Slack. So if an error occurs, I alert that error to my Slack channel. So if I go to alert rules here and edit, you can actually see here that, you know, if any, actually this is a wrong label. You can see here I'm using, obviously here in Grafana, I'm using Grafana query language. You can see I'm reporting any error that has a response of 500 to my Slack, right? So there are many things. There are many things in this infrastructure. I did this all manually, basically. So I'm not using any third-party services. I'm hosting Postgres, Redis, and all of this stuff myself. And I pay 20 euros, right, a month. I have backups set up. My database are backed up 4 times a day. I have a cron job that I wrote to back up my Postgres database 4 times a day. So every 6 hours, etc., etc., etc. So going back to this thing, if I used this, it would have costed me more than the entire Programmer Network infrastructure right now. And when you're building side projects, you have to take care of a metric called COGS, right? Costs of goods sold, right? In simple words, you want to make sure that you don't just get every single service that you pay for. You will have to evaluate as you go. But if you want to be competitive eventually on the market, right, you want to make sure that it's easy to use things which are, I mean, not free, right? But then for how long can you do that, right? Well, all of the services that I've just listed are free. That's the whole point. I'm not paying for any of these services. What do you mean? You mean like something like auth0 and stuff, but why would I do that, right? What does that solve then? I mean, you can implement, if you go to Programmer Network, right, you can implement this manually in 3 hours. You get what I mean? Or in 5 hours. So why would you host it yourself, right? If you get what I mean. You can implement GitHub, LinkedIn, Twitch. But do you need that account, right? I mean, again, that's theory, right? That's more like theoretical. The question is why, in pragmatic way, right? Why does it matter that you have those features, right? Why would that matter to Programmer Network? Sure. Don't take me wrong. I mean, those services offer a lot of features, and if you need those features, then a logical conclusion would be, of course, go and use it. But if you don't need them, then you don't use it, right? That's the point I guess I'm trying to make, right? But I agree with you, right? We're using Auth0 at work, but we are a big company, right? So that's different, right? Yeah. So I think, give me a second here. So if we go back a little bit to this, right? If we scroll a bit down, we have this locked true, right? So the programmer network platform is not, right? But this thing that I'm open sourcing now is, so the UI library. So this thing that you can see here is basically the whole UI that I'm porting now to be open source. But the programmer network is a platform? No, it's not. But this is one of the things, and there are several other things, some other libraries that I built which are open source, right? So for sure, but not the whole platform, because that would make no sense for me to do, right? Okay, that's great. So I guess we want this, and then no matter what user selects, we would just scale that to the maximum allowed size, right? Yeah, that looks good now. I guess that's what we want, right? Yeah, I think that's what we want, right? I keep going back to the wrong thing. Okay. All right, so I think locked true, we're gonna get rid of that. I mean, I think I'm gonna change. I never actually thought about that, but you're right. I think I'm gonna rename. I didn't publish this yet, like as a npm packages and stuff, right? So I think I agree with you. I think I'm gonna just name this something different, right, instead. And Mister, thank you very much, buddy, for the follow, and also very good comments and stuff. Let's actually rename this. I think you're right. Let's rename this repository to something, or maybe I can do it tomorrow. I'll just call it something else. I actually agree with you. Yeah, is it this thing? Locked, yes. So let's just say here, locked Boolean, and we can make that optional, right? Okay, that's amazing. And yeah, let's go back here, right? So let's fix this. So set file and file. I think those are blobs, right? So thank you very much, buddy. I mean, I can tell you a little bit. This stream is a little bit different in a sense that there's no influencer type of bullshit, as I call here, right? So you will never hear me suggest or not suggest something I haven't used in production, right? So I'm stoic in a way that I'm trying to be very realistic, right? So I'm not going to be telling you about something that I don't know myself, right? So I'm not going to read a tutorial for 5 minutes, right? So this stream is really about real experience, and I don't allow myself to talk about things or even form opinions on things that I haven't used in production. So as I always say in this stream, if you haven't used the technology in production with your team, with real users, your opinion is useless, right? And that is the huge and big problem with a lot of those influencers, is that they're just making content, right? They're making clicks, engagement, views, right? That's their job. But in most circumstances, most of them actually never use this shit. That's why. Well, how can you use it? Because your full-time job is to write courses, not build an actual application or applications, right? So this is kind of what this stream is about, apart from having fun and stuff. Is like, I don't allow myself to crap or anything or discredit anything that I at least haven't used for a good portion of time in production, right? So that's how I would like to think about this place here. for the most part, yes. Infected FPS. Thank you very much, buddy. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, right? It's this is about coding, right? I'm not yeah, I mean, it's again, like, if you want to have, like, there are two types of people, right? Like, for example, if I wanted to have, let's say, hundreds, thousands of viewers, I would just not code and I would talk crap. If you go to this Vim guy, if you talk to those popular influencers, what they mostly do is they just talk crap. Whenever I open these streams, they're looking at Twitter or something. And this is, don't take me wrong, this is what people want. So if you want to be an influencer, then you have to be entertaining, you have to sell fog. So most people on Twitch, that's my experience streaming for this past year, they don't really want to watch someone code, because let's face it, right? Yeah. Yeah, of course, 100%. All right, guys, listen. Unfortunately, I think I'll have to leave you because my wife, she cannot sleep for me, it seems. Give me a second. Let me just do this. So I'll have to leave you for now. And what is to say? We can see each other tomorrow again. I don't want to disturb my wife. She needs to get some rest and get some sleep. So, yeah. But let's continue our discussions tomorrow. Duracha, my pleasure, man. Thank you as well. Thank you, everybody, for your subscriptions, for your follows, for your support. And I wish you guys likewise, and I wish you guys a great evening or day wherever you are, okay? I'll catch you guys up tomorrow. Be well, stay well, and take care of yourselves, okay?